you. So quickly, I just want us to confirm if you can hear me and you can also see me. I can see myself, I can hear myself. I just want to know if you can also do too. Please let's react, or let's put yes in the chat if you can hear me and if you can also see me. Oh, wonderful. We scored. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's great. So quickly, I want to welcome every one of us. And I know some of us are joining us for the first time, and some of us have been in a masterclass like this before. And I also want to know your name and where you are joining us from. So please, in the chat box, I want you to put your name and where you're joining from. And also, if you're joining us for the first time, put a 1 alongside your name and where you're joining us from. And if you have been in a masterclass like this before, alongside your name and where you're joining us from, put a 2. All right, guys, let's go quickly. As for me, I am Ojoayo. I'm joining you from Lagos, Nigeria. Hi, Simon. Simon from Nigeria, you're welcome. Oh, Priscilla is in Sudan. Hi, Priscilla, what's good? Hi, Wendy from UK. Hi, Stella. How you doing, Stella, from Nigeria? If you are just joining us, I just want to know your name and where you are joining us from, alongside if you are in a masterclass like this or you are joining us for the first time. Hi, Violet. Hi, Fortune. Oh, you are fine, Stella. I'm also fine myself. Hi, AB from Ghana. Hi, Olalike from Scotland. You all are welcome. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. I don't think it's time for us to get tired, really. We still have quite a long. Joining for the first time, Miss Code, you are welcome. All right, guys, quickly, as you can see, we have attendance form being put out. Let's make sure we fill it before the end of the masterclass. Hi, Sonny from UK. Hope you're doing good, Sonny. Hello, Grace. Grace from UK. How are you doing? So happy to have you here, by the way. So happy to have every one of us in this session. Okay, guys. Let's keep the introductions coming. And just give me a moment. Let me share my screen and then we get into the business of today. Oh, wonderful. So once again, if you're joining us for the first time and you have been in a masterclass like this before, I want to bid you a welcome. And we have something wonderful to do in this, in this masterclass, something to look at, something to, go over. And we are going to be doing a comparison or a deep dive into the goals of cloud engineer versus the roles of machine learning engineer and the roles of a business intelligence engineer. And we're going to use that to look at which job is right for you as a data person. Right. So quickly, permit me to introduce myself. I am Ojoayo, and I'm a data professional and also a senior data engineering associate with analytics. And if there's one thing I'm focused on doing with data is, delivering innovative data, driven solutions. I find my niche in architecting efficient data system and also building wonderful, I say wonderful data pipelines, the one that do not crash at all in any way. And then I've also applied my skills in diverse sectors and also in diverse concepts like web data extraction, data pipeline development, and also I've been utilizing cloud to developing data applications. So moving on, let's talk about what we are going to be doing today. So like I've explained or like I've said, we're going to be looking at the goals of cloud engineer versus the machine learning engineer versus the business engineer. I want to look at which job is right for you. Then we are going to move into the pathway of becoming a data engineer or scientist. And then we talk about data analytics, programs. And from there, we introduce you to our special discount offer. But before we get right into that, let's us introduce ourselves. Who are the organizers of this masterclass? Who are we as Analytics? Please just hold on a bit while this flow. Yeah, so who are we at Analytics? Analytics is an edtech, not just any edtech, but the edtech that make transitioning into tech easy, right? We have trained a lot of students and they are working in different big companies or even small companies or startups all over the world. And they're not just working there, they are also delivering impact as a result of the kind of training we have given them. We also have top instructors that usually train the students, and we are hoping that by the end of this masterclass, you're going to be one of our students, and you're also going to be one of those that is working in one of those companies all anywhere in the world. Now, I have okay, yes. So quickly, I want to introduce you to my host because I'm not as much as you're going to be seeing me, you're also going to be seeing an amazing person alongside me in this masterclass with the name of Priscilla, a passionate educator, a data expert, and a career strategist with close to half a decade years of experience in the world of blockchain technology and data analytics. She has her expertise across freelance data analysis. She's also a crypto educator. And okay, sure thing. I'm going to do that. Just give me a moment. How about now? How's my mic? Is it fine now? Oh, yes. All right. So back to Priscilla. She is a technical support personnel and also a tech career coach. Like I said, she's an amazing person. So Priscilla, come on, say hello to every one of us here. Hi, Priscilla. Okay, looks like we are going to be seeing Priscilla later. So why don't let us get into the business of today? Let's talk about those roles: the cloud engineer, the machine learning engineer, or the and the business intelligence engineer. So moving into the business of the day, let's come into understanding the data ecosystem. And from there, we're going to be looking at an analogy, which is the modern data factory. So one thing I want us to know in the modern data factory is that the goal is to turn raw materials, which is our data, into a valuable finished product. That's where the business insight and intelligence house comes into play, where the role of the cloud engineer, who is the factory architect, and the plumber is to design and build the factory itself alongside setting up pipelines for the raw materials to get to their transformation points and also their loading point. And then the role of the machine learning engineer, who is like the robotics engineer, is to build the advanced intelligence robots. And then the business intelligence engineer, the factory operation manager, is to monitor production, analyze outputs, and also present reports so they can make strategic decision. And also one thing I want us to know about each and every one of these roles is that they are important. No role is less important or too important in this data factory. And that is applicable to our data ecosystem. All roles are important in making sure data is turned from a raw material that is raw data is turned into an actionable or a business insight. So quickly, we are going to be doing a deep dive into each and every one of these roles, your must-have skills, and what they do day to day. But before I move on, I just want to know what skill would what job would you love to apply for if you have the skills? If it's for cloud data engineer, put a 1. If it's for machine learning engineer, put a 2. And if it's for business intelligence engineer, put a 3. Let's go, guys. Okay, Fortune is giving a 1. That is for cloud data engineering. That's nice. We're going to know if that would still be your choice by the end of this presentation. All right. So I'm still here to get more feedback from us. Okay, Simon with a 3, Mildred, you're welcome, Mildred, with a 1. That's nice. That's nice. We're still going to know. Maybe that's going to be your choice till the end of the session. So let's do the deep dive. Now let's talk about the cloud data engineer. He has the motto of I build the reliable foundations for all data. So what is the cloud, or who is the cloud data engineer? As you can see, this fine young man here is an integral part of the data team, right? Without them, there is no clean, reliable, accessible data for anyone else to make use of. And they have the core mission to design, build, and manage the infrastructure and pipelines that collect, store, and process massive volume of data in the cloud. You know, I talked about the cloud data engineer being the factory designer, the factory architect, and also the plumber. While the cloud engineer is there to design the data system in which the data is going to be turned from raw, in its raw form into an actionable insight, is also there to create something we call pipelines to make sure those data get from one end to the other end where they are going to where they are going to be made use of. So anything that has to do with data infrastructure, data pipeline, collection, storage, and also processing of massive volumes of data in the cloud or on premise, that's where you're going to find my guy, who is the cloud data engineer. And also, they are the architects of the data superhighway. So they are the one that design how the flow of data is going to be. So what is their roles and also their skill sets? Now, their roles include building and maintaining ETL and ELT pipelines. ETL meaning extract, transform, load, and ELT meaning extract, load, transform pipelines to move data from various sources into a central data warehouse or a central data location. They are also, their roles also span across designing and managing cloud data warehouses like the Google BigQuery, Amazon Redshift, and Azure Synapse. And they're also into writing code, primarily Python and SQL, to transform and clean data. And they also make sure there's something we call data quality, reliability, and security. I mean, what else is the role of a factory, architect and plumber, if not all this? But what skill must you have as a cloud data engineer to be able to apply or to be able to even do the work of a cloud data engineer? So they are divided into 2 skills, which is technical skills and soft skills. So as a cloud data engineer, you have to be an expert in SQL. You also have to be very proficient in Python and a deep knowledge of a major, if not all the major cloud platforms like AWS, GCP, and Azure. AWS meaning Amazon Web Services, GCP meaning Google Cloud Google Cloud providers, and Azure is for Microsoft. That's Microsoft Azure. And you also have to have experience with big data tools like Apache Spark and orchestration tools like Airflow. Now, what are your soft skills? Your soft skills have to span across system thinking, meticulous attention to details, strong problem-solving skills, and a love for building robust system. Not just building, also maintaining robust system. Very, very important. So for those of us that have picked or that must have, picked cloud data engineering, by the end of this presentation, we are going to know if that is still the case. But still, let's move on to the machine learning engineer. Now, I'm sure some of us here have heard about machine learning, or must have even done a little bit of machine learning before. But the motto of the machine learning engineer here is I bring AI to life. I'm sure every one of us here are using AI one way or the other. Yes, we must have used it directly or indirectly. And you see these guys are the guys that are responsible for bringing that AI to you, right? Kudos to them. Then the machine learning engineer is the bridge between the theoretical world of data science and the practical world of software engineering. So they make machine learning models work in the real world. The reason why you are able to use your ChatGPT, your Gemini, your Claude, your Meta AI is as a result of some amazing set of machine learning engineers working tirelessly seriously to bring these models to you in the real world. They also have a core mission to deploy, scale, and maintain machine learning models in production environments. They wouldn't expect, you wouldn't expect them to build that machine learning model and come and use it on whatever system they are making use of. They want to make sure it's accessible on all your device, as long as it has the ability to be accessible on that device. So quickly, let's move into the roles and the skill set of a machine learning engineer. So their roles include building or maintaining machine learning model for a production environment. They are also build APIs that allow application to use the model's prediction. So they are making sure everybody has access, or as long as those who are meant to have access to that machine learning model. They also set up infrastructure for training and retraining models at scale. Okay, Leke, I don't know if you can rephrase your question. I'm finding it difficult to understand, so that I can answer you, properly. And then setting up infrastructure for training and retraining models at scale. Also monitoring model performance in the real world. So they are kind of checking for drift and also what accuracy. Now let's move on to the skill set of a machine learning engineer. What must you have? What ability must you possess to be able to, stand out or be a machine learning engineer, right? Now, like I said, divided into two skills, technical and the soft skill. So you must have a strong Python knowledge, a mastery of machine learning frameworks like TensorFlow, PyTorch, scikit-learn, and also software engineering best practices and an experience with Docker for containerizing your machine learning model. And then for soft skills, you must have an experimental mindset and strong collaborative skills, especially with the data engineer, because you guys are in the business of developing infrastructure. And when I'm talking about infrastructure, while the data engineer is developing the infrastructure for the machine learning engineer to drive in, the machine learning engineer is also developing another infrastructure in that infrastructure to make the artificial intelligence thrive and accessible to their users or their clients or the stakeholders, right? And also adaptability, you must be able to, adapt to different tools, and you must be able to adapt to working with different, like I said, we have talked about collaboration already. Also, you must be able to, you must be adaptable to different deployment methods. As long as you get your AI deployed for use, you are good to go. You are good to go. So, and you also have a deep understanding of algorithms. There are a lot of algorithms that is being used to develop these machine learning models. You have to have a deep understanding of those algorithms. And also, permits me to add, you also have to have a deep understanding of statistics. Statistics, very, very paramount in machine learning engineering. So we've talked about cloud data engineer, we've talked about the machine learning engineer. Now, let's also talk about the business intelligence engineer, right? So for those of us that must have picked either one or two or three, like I said, by the end of this presentation, we are going to know where you fit in or where you are going to fit in further. Now, as for the business intelligence engineer with the motto of I engineer data for business impact, right? And you see this business intelligence engineer is a specialized data engineering role. So it's under the umbrella of data engineering, but now they focus on the last mile, in quotes, last mile of the data journey. Now, there's a data journey where the data comes from in its raw format. That's one of the things data engineers do. So they get the data in this rawest form, transform it, and make it ready and accessible for the analysts, the machine learning engineers, or whatever stakeholders needs that data. And this is where the business intelligence engineer comes in. They take the clean data already. The data engineer must have already cleaned and make it accessible and structured. They now take that structure, and what they do is that they take it, the structure has been provided by the core data engineers, they model it into high performance, business ready data set. So they are refining it for a certain business purpose. So rather than the analyst doing all those, vigorous work themselves, and also, they are also continuing from where the core data engineers would stopped, because sometimes the core data engineers are just, focused or fixated on making sure that data is wherever it's supposed to be. They now come in to take that data. It is cleaned and structured, right? But they are coming in to make it into an high performance business ready data set. So they are making it fit a business requirement, or they are making it ready to answer a business question that the data analysts are going to make use of. So their core mission is to engineer and model curated data. The data has been curated, has been structured into, from the warehouse into reliable and accessible data sets that directly power business analytics and decision making, just as what I've explained earlier. So they are in the business of making sure, well, data engineers help us to transform this data. Why not let us make this data answer a business question? Now, let's look at their skill set and their roles. What do? They write highly complex SQL queries to pull and aggregate data from a data warehouse. They design and build optimized schemas like the Star or Snowflake schemas within the data warehouse that fit into BI tools. So they are the bridge between the data warehouse and the business intelligence tools like your Power BI, your Tableau, or your Looker Studio, right? Now they also work with, they are working with business stakeholders to translate their abstract question into concrete technical specification for data models. While the data is going to be appearing abstract, they are trying to make it, answer, like I've said before, a business question. And they are also ensuring data accuracy and consistency across all reports. Now, what's the technical skill you must have as a business intelligence engineer? In the technical skills, you must be on an expert level in SQL and also data modeling. So expert level in SQL and data modeling. Also, you must have a deep proficiency in data in a data transformation tool like DBT, or using Python also. Also, using SQL for some sort of data transformation, and sometimes the Apache Spark. Now, you must also have a strong understanding of where data warehousing architecture and tools. So you must know how to design the data warehouse. Even if you don't know how to design it, you must know how to even work with a data warehouse. That is the architecture or the design of a data warehouse. Sometimes you don't have the luxury of building, but you have the luxury of using. So you must understand how to make use of it, or how to bring data business insight, answer business question from the architecture you are presented with. You must also know the tools. Very, very important. And tools like Azure Synapse, Google BigQuery, and Amazon Redshift. And also you must have knowledge of BI tools. Like I said, they are the bridge between data warehouse and also these BI tools. Tools like Tableau, tools like Power BI, and Looker Studio. And we also have we also have the one for what do they call it now? I don't know. My memory is failing me, but these three I presented you with are the common BI tools that we have. So moving on to their soft skills, we have, you must have a strong business acumen to understand the why behind data requests. So while the stakeholders or analysts are requesting for a type of data, you have to know or understand. This is some of the things that some data engineers might not actually understand. So you have that understanding. You know how to, like, okay, looking at the business question you are asking me, this is the kind of data that we are going to need to answer those particular questions. And also you must have an excellent communication, because you're going to be relating with more, teams, from stakeholders to the board members, also to the data analyst, to the machine learning engineer, and the data engineer. And you must be able to collaborate with them, because some of them are going to be technical and non-technical. So you must be able to be able to bridge that gap between technicality and non-technicality. So now we have looked at the roles and skills of a cloud data engineer, a machine learning engineer, and also a business intelligence engineer. Now let us now know where you fit. So which job is right for you? You might be a cloud data engineer if you are passionate about building robust robust backend systems, and you might also be a cloud data engineer if you think in terms of data flow, scalability, and efficiency. And you might be a cloud data engineer if you rather build a super highway than analyze the traffic on it. So rather than you controlling rather than you analyzing the traffic, you are just building the super highway to make sure what this data moves from one place to another. You have that sense of data flowing from one place to another, and you are very, very passionate about building systems, building enabling systems for data to be turned from raw into actionable insight. And one more thing, your keyword is foundation. Now, for a machine learning engineer, you might be a machine learning engineer if you have a strong passion for both software engineering and AI. So you will want to be able to develop softwares that are artificial, that have that artificial intelligence. You might be a machine learning engineer. You might also be a machine learning engineer if you enjoy the challenge of optimizing code and algorithm for performance. One more thing, you might also be a machine learning engineer if you have the knack for mathematics. I know some of us might be scared, like, oh my God, what do I do about this? Well, it's something that's very, very easy. You might have the knack, you might have the knack, if you have the knack for mathematics or statistics, then you might be a machine learning engineer. And your keyword is operationalize. And then for the business intelligence engineer, you might be a business intelligence engineer if you get the satisfaction from building reliable data sets that empower others to make critical decisions. You thrive on connecting raw data systems to real-world business solutions. And your keyword is structure. That is that is your fit or your niche as a business intelligence engineer. So once again, I'm back with that question. From what we have just discussed, which role would you be applying for? Is it the cloud data engineer, that is one, or the machine learning engineer, two, or the business intelligence engineer? Let's leave our answers in the chat box quickly. Okay, I think Simon is still, on his previous answer, which was 3. Nice one, Simon. I'm sure you're very, very convinced of your role, and I'm sure you are going to do just great as a business intelligence engineer. You also misscored. Violet is going for cloud engineer. That's nice. Mildred also for cloud engineer. I think you are still maintaining your previous stance. That's wonderful. I think you all are going to do great as, you are going to do great working in this role. All right. So quickly, we have talked about it. We have looked at, the cloud data engineer versus the machine learning engineer versus the business intelligence engineers. And about that, you need skills, because I'm assuming all of us here have maybe a somewhat skill or no skill in being or in applying for this job. And speaking of skill sets, I'm going to be passing the baton to Priscilla to, talk about how we can get this skill set so that we can apply for these jobs of our choice. Hello, Priscilla. Are you there?
Hi, Ajayo. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you so much for a beautiful session. So guys, if you can hear me clearly,
Welcome.
just if you've had a good time so far, listening into Ajayo talk about what it means to be a cloud engineer, what it means to be a machine learning engineer, or even a business intelligence engineer. If you've had a good time so far, please leave a yes in the chat. I've had a good time listening in, so if you've had a good time, leave a yes. Miss Cord, absolutely. I'm glad you've had a good time so far. Simon, I'm glad you've had a good time so far. Of course, Ajayo, Violet, good to have everybody here. So now I'm here to walk you through the other half of the session, okay? So you're looking to become a cloud engineer, right? Or you're even looking to become a business intelligence engineer or, a machine learning engineer. What would it take you, to transition into any of these career paths, right? This is what I'm here to talk to you about. And right about now, all right, I'll share my screen, so that you get to see me talk to you about these different career paths, the skills you need to transition into these career paths, and how Tenalytics can help you, right? So if you can see my screen clearly, right? If you can see my screen visibly, please leave a yes in the chat, so I'm aware that you can see my screen clearly. Okay, so if you can see my screen, kindly leave a yes in the chat. All right, so that I know. Okay, thank you, Violet. All right, so Kuroyefa says that is interested in machine learning engineer. Absolutely fine. So you're looking to get into any of this career, but how do you get started? Okay, now for some people in tech, I'm starting this other half of the session by letting you know that you see any of these career paths that you are deciding to go into, right? You are deciding to go into a very fantastic career path, right? They're not just career paths that are in demand right now, right? But according to reports, their career path, that would continuously be in demand. So for some people transitioning into tech, the mistake that they make is they just get into career paths that are currently in demand. So they hear people say, oh, it is software engineering that is currently in demand, blockchain technology and all of that. And they want to jump into it without looking at the future prospects. Okay, so whether you're looking to become a cloud engineer, a machine learning engineer, or a business intelligence engineer, I'm here to tell you that you've made a very fantastic choice. And, this report that you can see right here on my screen is a report from the Future of Jobs report by the World Economic Forum, right? Now, the World Economic Forum is made up of your tech leaders, right? Your politicians and all of that, right? You have people like your Elon, your Jeff Bezos, and what they do is to basically chart the course for different career paths. I know that some of us, are really phased out by the AI is going to take your job and all of that, but here's what this report has to say. Now, bear in mind that this report was just released in January this year, right? And according to this report, what they have to say is that in the next 5 years, okay, between now and 2030, 170 million jobs will be created, while 92 million jobs will disappear. So you want to get into tech and you want to be very, very intentional and strategic about it. You're fully aware that there are certain career paths that will fizzle out, and then there are certain career paths that will continuously grow. So your focus as a beginner looking to transition, or even somebody looking to upskill, your focus should be on getting into a career path that would remain relevant, right? And that would still be in demand, right? So here is a broader snippet of the report, right? Now, in this report to the left, right, you're going to find roles that would continuously grow in demand. Right, to the left, you find roles that will continuously grow in demand. To the right, you'll find roles that would fizzle out. And like I told you, your data engineers and your data scientists, they're amongst these roles, that would continuously grow in demand. Okay, so if you take a look at the first role here, you'd see the big data specialist, right? Now, this is a derivative of the data engineering career path, right? So if you're looking to become, a machine learning engineer, a cloud engineer or a business intelligence engineer. These are roles under data engineering, right? And you can absolutely see that these roles will continuously grow in demand. Okay, now we also have the AI and machine learning specialists. For those of us interested in machine learning engineering, this is where you come in, right? So absolutely, this report is just showing you that the career path you've chosen is one that would continuously grow in demand, and it is something worth the while, right? Now, to become a data engineer or even a data scientist, remember that I said that the cloud engineers, the BI engineers, they're under the data engineering career path, right? While the machine learning engineers, they are under the data science career path, okay? So to become a data engineer, or Jai, you have successfully talked us through what it means to what it means to be a data engineer, right? So right now, some of us are interested in becoming data engineers. What are the skills required? What are the tools that you need to learn to become a data engineer? So here at Analytics, we've curated the list of, learning areas you need to be very, very specific about if you're looking to transition into this particular career path, right? So you want to get into data engineering. What is the first thing that you need to learn? Absolutely. For a beginner, it is the basics, right? The introduction, they help with your foundation. So you get to learn introduction to data engineering. What is a database, right? What is a data warehouse? What is a data lake and all of that, right? So what we do, here at Analytics is to make a very good assumption that every single person coming to learn here is an absolute beginner, right? we just assume that every single person coming to learn at analytics is an absolute beginner without prior experience and all of that. And we have structured our training in that pattern, right? So that you're looking to come in, you're gaining skills, you're gaining the foundational skills, right? So the first thing you get to learn is introduction to data engineering. Then, of course, as you heard Ojai say, SQL is one good skill, one very important skill for every single data engineer to have, right? Structured query language. So that is something you get to learn as well. Then you get to learn Python programming from the very basics, right? The way that a data engineer is required to use Python programming, that is exactly what you're going to learn here at Analytics. Then you get to learn Linux as well. Then you also get to learn how to build custom ETL pipelines, your extract, transform, and load pipelines, right? These are things you get to learn how to build here at Analytics. Okay, then of course you get to also learn Apache Spark. You must have heard that Ojaya saying, these are some big data tools that you need to learn how to use. So you learn how to use Apache Spark, you learn how to use Apache Airflow for your data pipeline automation, because as soon as you're done building a data pipeline, you don't want to keep building data pipeline for a specific set of, data collection or extraction. You want to automate the process so that even if you're not there, the pipeline is still extracting data. So you get to use Apache Airflow for your data pipeline automation. Then, of course, cloud engineering. You heard of Jaya talk about GCP, Google Cloud Platform, Azure and the likes, right? These are things you get to learn here at Analytics. Then, of course, you got to learn GitHub for version control, then ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot. So for anybody looking to become a cloud engineer, or a BI engineer, these are the key learning areas that you need to be focused on. And here at Analytics, we've structured our training in such a way that you're learning, from the very beginning, you're learning the basics up until the point where you're confident enough to apply to jobs. So I'll share with you some testimonials so you hear for yourself how people without prior experience, without knowledge in tech, they were able to come into the data engineering program, and they not only learned, right? At the end of the day, they were able to get jobs. If you want to transition into tech, that should be your focus. It shouldn't just be to come learn, right? It should be, how do I get a job after learning? Right? And that is exactly why Analytics is here. So for those of us interested in becoming machine learning engineers, remember it is a role under data science. So what are the skills that you need to get? Absolutely. You heard Joy, you're talking about statistics, right? That is the foundation of data science. And that is the where you get to start here at Analytics, right? Then you get to use Excel for your forecasting and predictive analytics. For most of us here, I would assume that we don't know that with Excel, you can do a bit of forecasting and prediction, right? But here at Analytics, you get to see that firsthand. How does it really work? How can you forecast? How can you predict, on Microsoft Excel, that tool that is just used as a spreadsheet for calculations, to keep record data and all of that? How can you use that to forecast? Right? That is something you get to learn here at Analytics. Then, of course, Tableau for data analytics. Remember, this is a full stack data science program. So you get to learn how to build reports, how to build dashboards and the likes, how to analyze data. Right? And Tableau is one, business intelligence tool that you can use for your data visualization. Right? On Tableau as well, you can do a bit of forecasting on Tableau, right? These are things you get to learn here at Analytics. Then, of course, you learn SQL, structured query language, right? This is the language of every database, right? And it is something you get to learn here at Analytics. Then, of course, Python programming. You want to build machine learning models that are able to predict what is likely to happen, right? You got to learn how to use Python to do those, right? So you learn how to use Python here at Analytics, how you can use Python as a data scientist. Right? The way that a data engineer will use Python is quite different from the way that a data scientist will use Python, right? So you get to learn how to use Python the way a data scientist should learn how to use Python. Then, of course, exploratory data analysis, right? How do you use Python to explore the data sets that you have? Okay, then machine learning. This is the core skill that every data scientist should know how to use or know how to work with, basically, building machine learning models. Then computer vision. right? Then you also have GitHub for version control, ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot for coding, as well as Microsoft Fabric for analytics. So you're looking to become a data scientist. These are the things that you need to focus on. So here at Analytics, we've made it very easy for you. So you don't need to go out there trying to look, oh, what are the things I need to learn? You have every single thing right here at Analytics, right? Now, remember that I said that the cloud engineer, the BI engineers, there are roles under data engineering, right? And your machine learning engineers, it's a role under data science. Now, after taking the Analytics program, either the Analytics data science or the Analytics data engineering program, there are some other jobs you can apply to. So you're not just fixated on, oh, it's either a machine learning engineer or nothing, right? Or it's either a cloud engineer or nothing, right? So here are some jobs, I've also attached, a screenshot or a slide that contains some jobs you can apply to after taking the data science program or after taking the data engineering program. So with the way for the data science, with the way the analytics curriculum is structured, as a data scientist, you're able to apply for all roles in data analytics. Remember, it is a full stack data science program, right? So you are certainly able to apply to all roles in data analytics. Then, of course, your data scientist roles, machine learning engineers, forecasting analysts, demand planning analysts, big data analysts, quantitative analysts, market research analysts, NLP developer, computer vision engineer, right? After taking our data science program, going through all the key learning areas, these are some jobs you can apply to. So you very well know that as soon as you're done, learning with analytics, going through the data science curriculum, if you see a role in data analytics, it is a role you can apply to, right? If you see a role as a forecasting analyst, a business intelligence analyst, these are roles you can apply to. And you can only get this here at Analytics, right? The skills that would enable you to apply to multiple roles, with the way our curriculum is structured. Then to the data engineer, what are some roles you can apply to? Absolutely. Data engineer, analytics engineer, BI engineer, your business intelligence engineer, your AWS cloud engineer, Azure cloud engineer, GCP cloud engineer, ETL developer, big data engineer, data migration specialist, data platform engineer, and so much more, right? So these are some roles that you can apply to after taking the data engineering or the data science program. Remember, I said initially that as somebody looking to transition, the key focus shouldn't just be, how do I learn or what can I learn? It should be, how do I get a job? And the common mistake that some people make is to assume what the recruiters want, what employers want from you. But in fact, what do employers want from you really? Now, there are only two things that every single employer in the tech space will want from you. That is your skills and your experience. Right? They want to see your skills and they also want to see your experience. They are big on experience. Show me, right? That is what is obtainable in the tech space. So how do you learn in such a way that you're able to build skills, both technical skills and employability skills, and still show to recruiters? This is the advantage that Analytics gives to you, right? So for those people that would go on Coursera, YouTube, and the likes to learn, there's absolutely no building experience that way, right? So for your skills, it is made up of just two types of skills, your technical skills and your employability skills, right? So I would categorically mention that in the tech space, the technical skills are not enough to get you the job, right? You see the statistics you get to learn, you see the introduction to data engineering and the likes you get to learn under the data engineering program, how to use GCP, Azure. Those are not enough to get you the skills, right? So we came up with a job equation formula here at Analytics, right? To get a job, right, you would need the technical skills and the employability skills. T plus E, gives you the job. And these are the skills you need. I'll talk you through, the employability skills as we go ahead. Then for experience, in the tech space, recruiters are absolutely big on experience. Have you done it before? Right? Can you do it for me? Honestly, if I'm a recruiter and you come to me and tell me that I'm a machine learning engineer, I'd like to see what you've done in the past. And there's only one place, where I go to test or check your expertise or your level of expertise and your proficiency, right? That is your portfolio. I would also talk to you about that. So in the tech space, Employers want just two things from you, right? The skills and the experience. It is not enough to learn. You also have to show to recruiters that I have the experience, to take on this job. So for the technical skills and the employability skills, how do you gain the technical skills, right? Now, for some people, you see all the key learning areas there. They could just go on any platform to learn. Right? But as a beginner looking to transition, remember that you have to be intentional and strategic. So what we've done here at Analytics to enable you get the technical skills is to ensure, that you're learning in a blended learning environment. Right? So first of all, here at Analytics, you have live instructor-led classes where you come in, to a session like this, you'd see a facilitator, you get to work on projects. Right? You get to be in the live class for a certain amount of time, 3 hours. You get to work on projects with the instructor, right? And then you can ask questions as you work on these projects. So you're learning with industry experts, and then you also get to interact with other people like yourself looking to transition. Okay, so for somebody, either as a student, you're currently done with your master's, you're currently looking to change jobs and the likes, right? You absolutely need to learn in a blended learning environment. While some people would just focus on your live instructor-led classes, you don't have much time, to attend a live class 3 hours every day. So with a blended learning approach, you get to learn, in a live class, and you also get to learn self-paced. So some people make the mistakes of learning self-paced alone. So you just go on YouTube and you try to learn. What happens when you're stuck? Because the YouTube videos you're watching, you cannot absolutely tell the person or the instructor there when you have issues. Right? So this is the beauty of learning in a blended learning environment, right? On Saturdays, you get to come to a live class, and during the weekdays, you choose the time and the place. You're literally learning at your convenience. Right? This is what you get with Analytics. So you have access for your self-paced learning. You have access to a learning management system that contains projects for you to work on, videos that you can go through, at your chosen time. Right. So this is how you get the technical skills by, learning in a blended learning environment. Your instructor-led classes where you can absolutely ask questions, and your self-paced where you get the freedom of, choosing the time and the place. Then for your employability skills, what does it mean to become employable? Remember, the technical skills are not enough. So here at Analytics, what we've done is, 2 months into your learning, if you take a look at my screen, just at the bottom here, you would see next to employability, you'd see CV review and revamp, right? You're looking to become a data engineer. Right? Your CV has to suit the CV of data engineers. So what we've done here at Analytics is 2 months into your training, we provide you with a standard CV format that beats the applicant tracking system any day, anytime. So you have access to that CV format, and we teach you how to structure your CV according to that format. Okay, so you get to structure your CV according to that format. Now, while you're learning, gaining the technical skills, remember, through all the key learning areas, you are working on projects. We don't do theories here at Analytics because theories don't get you the job. Remember, recruiters only want 2 things from you, skills and experience. With experience, you get to show them, this is what I have. This is what I've done before. Right? And with theories, you can absolutely not do that. So what we've ensured is while you're learning here at Analytics, you are working on projects. You see the practical application. You get to see what it means to work, with GCP. You get to see what it means to work with Azure and the likes. And at the end of the day, all those projects you've worked on, you are able to have them in a portfolio. And because you learned, by working on project, that is you building experience. Just stay with me, right? So you've gone through key learning areas and you've worked on projects. Those projects, would serve as your experience, right? And by virtue of that, you can have on your CV, that you've worked for Analytics as a consultant or a contractor. So imagine coming from being an absolute novice, an absolute beginner, without any experience in tech, and you have work experience that you can defend any day, anytime, right there on your CV. It is absolutely because of the way you've learned. So this is what is obtainable right here at Analytics. Okay, then you also, you get a job description that will summarize the projects you've worked on and their impact, right? That is what you get with Tenalytics. Remember, I showed you a couple of jobs you're able to apply for after learning with us. Now, one strategy here at Tenalytics is when you're looking to apply to multiple roles, so you take the data science program and if you see a data analyst role, you're looking to apply for that. If you see a machine learning engineer role, you're looking to apply for that. One key thing to note is you do not use the same CV to apply to multiple jobs. That wouldn't get you the job. That won't do nothing. So what we've done is to also teach our participants how to tailor their CV according to, every job role they are looking to apply for. Okay, then of course we have LinkedIn optimization, right? If nobody's tooting your horn, you have to learn how to do it. So I worked on these projects. You have that on LinkedIn because a lot of the times these days when recruiters are looking to fill up role, they'll go to your LinkedIn profile. In fact, so many people from Tenalytics, they got jobs through LinkedIn. That is because of how their LinkedIn profiles are, right? The kind of things that they talk about, they have a link to their portfolio right there on LinkedIn. They have work experience, Tenalytics, right? So they just have recruiters reaching out to them. Okay, this is absolutely what you get here at Tenalytics. Then, of course, navigating the job market. So what we've also done is to teach you how to apply to jobs. And we don't just stop there. We give you a competitive advantage by subscribing to premium job boards. So you see these job boards, you don't have to pay for them because we already paid for them. So that apart from the traditional job boards that you have access to, your Glassdoor, Read.co, LinkedIn and the likes, apart from those traditional job boards, you also have access to premium roles that you can apply for. Right? Now, this is what you get here at Tenalytics. Then, of course, interview preparation sessions. So say you apply for a data scientist role, right? You're a beginner, right? Your CV, you've learned, you have projects, you have a portfolio, your CV is properly optimized and all of that. But this is your first time interviewing for, a data science role. Now, recruiters would definitely ask you competency-based questions. Right? They would also ask you to introduce yourself. As simple as that sounds, a lot of us don't actually know how to introduce ourselves. So when you have an interview coming up, all you have to do is book for a prep session, an interview preparation session. When you have an expert come on the session, you have an interview coming up, they will do their research on the company, they take a look at their CV, and they'll preempt the questions you're likely to get and prep you for that interview. So just think about it. You, an absolute beginner, you learned really well. You have the experience, you have projects, you have portfolio, you have a company work experience on your CV, right? And you have a company that will prep you for an interview. So I hope you're seeing yourself get a job after, certain duration that you've chosen to learn. Okay, right. Then we also have the job reference or recommendation letters. Remember on your CV, you have that you've worked for Tenalytics as a consultant or a contractor. You have that right there on your CV. They'll reach back to us to provide recommendation letter for you, right? And that is something we are able to do by virtue of you learning here at Tenalytics. Then on the job support, that is also a service that every single person looking to transition into tech will need. Now, a lot of our participants don't usually come back for this on the job support because it is 6 months of intensive learning, immersive learning, but we have this available, right? Just in case you need to get prepped for an interview or you need, support on the job, you can reach back to Tenalytics. Then, of course, weekly mentorship session. So with this weekly mentorship session, you get to hear from the horse's mouth, people that have taken the program and then they've gone ahead to get jobs. What did they do? Right? How were they able to stand out? How did they navigate the terrain? What are the do's and don'ts and all of that? So you get weekly mentorship right here, at Tenalytics. Then, of course, Upwork optimization, where you get to, Upwork is like a freelance platform. You'll be taught how to optimize your Upwork profile. So this is how you build the skills, the technical skills. I've shown you how you need to learn as a beginner, and I've also shown you the employability skills that you need. Okay, so what about experience, right? Because here in the tech space, like I said, recruiters are big on show me. Okay, so how do you show them literally? First of all, you need to have a portfolio. I know I mentioned this earlier, but every single person looking to get into tech, learn and get a job needs a portfolio. If you come to me, so say that I was recruiting for a data science role and I have two candidates. So the first person tells me that they have, certifications from Harvard as a data scientist. And the second person comes to me with their portfolio that contains machine learning, different types of machine learning models that they've built, projects that they've worked on. I'm absolutely going for the person with the experience. Right? So you're looking to transition, learn, and get a job. You absolutely need to have a portfolio. And this is something we teach you how to build at Analytics. Now, what is in your portfolio? The projects you'll be working on while learning. So you see, while the learning process has to be very strategic for you as a beginner, because you need something right there in your portfolio, projects that you have worked on. Right? That is what you get right there in your portfolio. Then, of course, you also need to intern to get more experience. Now, the learning timeline here at Analytics is 8 months. You're looking to get into data science, you're looking to get into data engineering, you get to learn for 8 months. And this 8 months is split into two. 6 months of learning, remember your self-paced learning, your live instructor-led classes, and 2 months of internship. Now, your learning will be done with Analytics. Your 6 months learning will be done with Analytics, right? But your internship will be done with a sister company that is registered in UK. Right? So you are interning with a company that is registered in UK. They're into the consulting space as well. And what this internship will give you is access to multiple projects across various industries. So you're looking to become a data engineer, in the healthcare industries. You need projects in that industry. And this is what the internship will give to you. Now, the beautiful part is you have the opportunity of also including this company as your work experience on your CV. So Amdari is a company that is registered right there in the UK. For those of us in the UK, and sometimes we come across recruiters that are really big on UK-based experience and all of that. Or by virtue of, interning with Amdari, you have UK-based experience right there on your CV. Then Analytics is a company that is registered in Canada. So you have Canadian experience and then you have UK-based experience. And guess what? We're accredited by the American Council of Training and Development. So you are getting a globally recognized certificate. So imagine a beginner, an absolute beginner that just learned, and they already have 2 work experience that they can defend any day, anytime. Now you can defend that because you worked on those projects yourself. Right? This is the absolute beauty of learning with Analytics. Then, like I said, we have the Analytics advantage, weekly mentorship, exclusive job posts, and a Analytics community. Now, these are some things you get to learn with during your internship sessions. You get to learn with mentors that are industry experts, to handhold you through your learning journey. Right? I also, attached a snippet of the job board where would pay for those jobs and script them, put them in a sheet so you can apply for it. Right? So you get remote roles, UK visa sponsorship roles, and the likes. Right? Now, while this is for, data analytics career path, this is the same way you get it, in your data science or even in your data engineering career path. Okay, so all these things I've been saying so far, for some of us, it might be seeming impossible. How possible will it be for me as a complete beginner? I mean, I just finished my master's. I was speaking to somebody earlier today, and they were really big on internship. Their focus was, I want to get an internship first because I just finished my master's. So I need an internship before I can get a job. And I was like, no, you don't need an internship before you can get a job. You need experience, and learning with Analytics will give you the experience. So all of this, would seem impossible until it is done. And this is why I would play one interesting testimonial for you to hear. Right? So I'll just play this lady, she has a finance background and she took the data science program. Okay, so I'll just literally play a testimonial so you can hear from the horse's mouth. This is somebody without prior experience or background. For some of us that are scared, so how can I do it? How can I get to learn how to write Python code, how to build a machine learning model and all of that? So let me quickly play this testimonial for you to hear. Okay, so as soon as you can hear this testimonial, please leave a yes in the chat. So I'm playing it now.
I'm so happy I got the job. I got the job 1 month to the end of my program. Good afternoon. My name is Oyefikaya Additional. I got to know about analytics through one of their Instagram adverts at that point where I just needed a direction. I would say that is still one of the best decisions I've ever made in my career. Ever since I joined them, the classes, resources, instructors, they are great people. They are always there to support you. You have the Watch Me Do It videos where you can go at your learning pace, and you have the Saturday classes, you have assignments, you have team project where you learn, you work with different people on your team. Joining Analytics has helped me a lot because my background is finance. I'm new to tech. I've never done coding in my life, but now I can tell you I have a very good grasp of what is going on. They have the live sessions, they have the weekly, they have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday programs where you can join CV review sessions where you can review your CV. You have your interview review sessions. This kind of support they give to you, you will be surprised. When I booked my interview session, they were really on my case. Like, they just gave me that support, they gave me that confidence I needed for the interview. And I'm so happy I got the job. I got the job 1 month to the end of my program. And even after getting it, getting a reference letter, like all the support you need to succeed, they will hold you by the hand till you are where you need to be.
Can everybody still hear me? Please confirm you can still hear me. Please leave a yes in the chat if you can hear me clearly. I just need to know that you can hear me and you were able to listen in on that beautiful testimonial. So I'm going to play one other one, from somebody that took the data engineering program, for those of us that are interested in data engineering, so you see for yourself as well. So I'm going to play this now.
Hello everyone, my name is Idris. How I heard about analytics was through a post on Instagram. So there was this ad. And I was interested in what I saw there. That made me decide to go through their website and see the curriculum they had. Going through the curriculum, I realized this was exactly what I was looking for, because I'm this kind of person. I very much love the learning fundamentals when I'm diving into a new field. And this was exactly what analytics is doing. They starts from the fundamentals and build it up from there. That made me enroll into the program with them, and my learning experience throughout the program was very productive because I gained a lot of concepts which I'm applying in my current role at the moment. Since finishing the program at Analytics, I've been able to secure a data engineering role at Jaguar Land Rover, and recently I just secured a new role as a senior analytics engineer. So my advice for anyone is, if you're having any doubts or if you think you need to delve into this field, I advise you to just go through the website, check on the courses there and see what you're interested in and start from there.
Okay, so here, Idris, this is somebody without any experience, right? After taking the training, he was able to, land a job at Jaguar Land Rover, and is currently on his second role. You see how interesting that is, right? So we'll get back into the session. I hope you had a good time listening to these guys, okay? So you would also see some other success stories here from Michael, a junior in a software company in the UK after completing his data engineering program. Right. So what are we not saying, right? You are currently a master's student. You just rounded up your master's, right? And you're looking to get a job. This is absolutely the best fit for you. You're a carer looking to transition. You have a current role and you're looking to transition. This is the best fit for you. Okay. So I've also attached some other testimonials that you can go through. To go through these testimonials, you need to fill the attendance form that my colleagues are dropping in the chat. So you get access to this slide, and this is the recording of this session when it's available. So you can take in every single thing that we've said today, right? You can also get to listen to their success stories for yourself. Okay, so we have somebody here as well, Gad, who was a mechanical engineer, and he was able to get a job as a data engineer with the NHS, right? Okay, and this job came with sponsorship, of course. Okay, so this is what you get here at Analytics. This is also NA, right? Everyone needs to know how good you are, right? Anna is currently right there in the UK, and she's working for a company in Germany. So for those of us that are big on remote roles, this is somebody, whose story you can literally see for yourself. Okay, now let's get into, the main meat for the day. So how can you literally get started? You've heard about all the good things, how you need to learn, the learning areas you need to go through and all of that. So how can you, right here on this call, get started today? Okay, so here at Analytics, we have a cohort that starts on the 8th of November. Right, it's just a couple of weeks away, right? 8th of November. You're looking to become a data engineer, you're looking to become a data scientist. This is the right time for you. Okay, now, if you get started, with our November cohort by February, March of next year, you should start applying to jobs already. Imagine somebody being a complete beginner by this time, and in March, they're literally getting a job as a data engineer or a data scientist. So this is the absolute best time for you to get started right before the year comes to an end. Okay, so for those of us that have always had the intention of transitioning into tech, you put it amongst your 2025 goals. This is the best time to, get those goals started. Okay, so we have a course that begins on the 8th of November. And what would it cost you to get into our training? What would it cost you to get access, to all these juicy things, to all the employability skills, to all the benefits? Right now, the cost of the training here at Analytics is $1,000 US. That is how much it will cost for you to transition. But because you're on this call, we have a 25% discount ongoing. Required of you to pay is $750 US. Right, $750 US. And for the most interesting part, you see the 750, you don't have to worry about paying the large chunk. You don't have to be able to afford the entire thing before you get started, because we have what is called the instrumental payments. Okay, so we have the 5 monthly installment, the 4 monthly installment, the 3 installment, the 2-time payment, and the 1-time payment. So if you want to go for the 5 monthly installment, you can pay as low as $150 to get started on the 8th of November. Okay, so I'll show you how you can go about registering. Okay, now with this discount, there's a catch, of course. This discount we have ongoing is just for 20 persons that are interested in the data engineering or the data science program, right? And as we're right here on this call, people are securing their slots. By virtue of you being on this call, I do not want you to pay more. Okay, and then once we get 20 persons to fill up the slot, the price reverts back to normal. Right? And then we also have different types of discounts. So this 25% discount is called the early bird discount. Okay, and then if we don't get all the slots filled up, it closes out on the 10th, which is Friday. So if you don't get the slots filled up right here on this call, the discount is going to close out on Friday. And then we would have the standard discount where you get to pay 20%. So with the standard discount, you'll be paying $800 instead of $750. $50 is a lot if you ask me. So why do you want to pay more, when you can pay less? So right on the call, my colleagues are sharing the link, to the payment platform. And what I want to do right now is to talk you through how you can go about securing a 25% discounted slot. If you're on this call, bear in mind that you're not expected to pay more, when you can pay less, right? So I would walk you through how you can go about securing a slot. So you have the link right there on Google Meet, okay? And as soon as you click on the link, it brings you here. So this is what you get to see. Now, you're interested in data science, you're interested in data engineering, or any other of our programs, right? Just scroll down. I'm going to use data science for demo's sake. Right? So I see the full stack data science here, and I click on buy now. As soon as you come to this platform, whether you're interested in data engineering or you're interested in the full stack data science, just click on buy now. Right? As soon as you click on buy now, it takes you to the other side, where you get to see enroll now. Now, this is loading up, and we're going to see that shortly. Okay, but the focus is as soon as you're there, click on buy now. And when you click on buy now, it brings you here. So here you get to see to your right, you get to see enroll now. That is what you want to click. So click on enroll now. As soon as you're done clicking on enroll now, it may prompt you, to create an account. Right? As soon as you're done clicking on enroll now, so it will prompt you, create an account. What you want to do is just quickly create an account. It shouldn't take you about less than a minute. You're done creating the account, right? So that is what you get, right? So you click on enroll now. right? And when you click on enroll now, it should bring you to the payment platform. Yes, this is what you get to see as soon as you click on enroll now. Now we have a course that starts in November and one that starts in December. So if you want to get started right away, the November cohort is ideal for you, right? But we have another cohort starting in December. So either of both of them, if you want to go for either of both of them, the 25% discount is still open to you. So if you want to go for November, just tap on November, right? And scroll down. So you get to see the payment plans that I was talking about earlier. So we have the 5 monthly installment, we have the 4 monthly, we have the 3 installment, the 2 monthly installments, and the full-time payment. Now with the 5 monthly installment, you're able to split $750 into 5. Now, what this means is you want to get started in November, right? And all what is required of you is $150, right? And you get started with your training while you're completing the payments, right? Even without the completion of the payment, you still have access to all the employability skills, your CV review and revamp, and every single thing that you need access to. So you're literally seeing what you are paying for, right? Then we also have the 4 monthly installments. With the 4 monthly installments, you get to split $750 into 4, and you get started with $187.05. In 4 months, you'll be done with the entire payment. If you want to pay 3 times, you get started with $250. But if you're looking to pay twice or once, there's a further discount for you. So if you want to pay twice or you want to pay once, you get a further discount. Instead of $750, you get to pay $712.50. That is if you're looking to pay twice or once. Okay, so you pick the payment plan that works for you, the 5 monthly or any other one, and click on apply discount. Right, so instead of $1,000 with this, you get to pay $750, and you split that $750 into 5. There are no extra charges, no interest. It is that beautiful, right? So as soon as you click on apply discount, it's going to apply the discount, and the page gets loaded up where you get to see that, yes, for a certainty, this discount has been applied, right? So when you get that, all you have to do is just click on, pay now. Okay, it's going to come up soon. So you click on apply discount and it takes you to the site where you just have to click on pay now. And then you can secure your discount as well. So it's just as easy as it is, right? As easy as I have shown you. Okay, so a single person here on the call, is to secure a discounted slot if you're looking to start in November or you're looking to start in December, right? Remember that as soon as the 20 slots are filled up, the price reverts back, right? And you get to pay more. Okay, and also after Friday, which is the 10th of October, you get a 20% instead of 25%. Now, like I said, the discount is for the first persons that are looking to, secure a discounted slot. So right at this juncture, we've come to the end of the presentation, and I hope you had a good time, and I hope somebody right here is securing their slot. So at this point, I'd like to take your questions, okay? So got any question for me, free question in the, I take your question. But you've had a good time so far, please. Yeah, so as I was saying, if you've had a good time so far, apologies, I had a technical glitch, right? I'd still like to see your message in the chat. If you've had a good time so far and you're looking to start in in November or December, kindly leave a yes in the chat. All right, please leave a yes in the chat if you can hear me. Right, can anybody still hear me? All right, thank you so much, Robert. Can any other person hear me? Ola hear me, absolutely. Am I getting any other response? I can see Violet and yeah, absolutely. Okay, so does anybody have any question for me? Do you have a question for me at this point? If you have a question, either leave it in the chat, or just use the palm icon so you get to raise your hand and you get to speak. All right. So if you have a question, this is the time where you get to ask. But don't forget that we're currently running a 25% discount for our November, or December cohort, and you want to take advantage as soon as you can. All right. So I'm not seeing any question in the chat. Does that mean that we're absolutely good to go and we're looking to start in November or December? Is that a good assumption? Well, thank you so much, everybody, for listening to me so far. Okay, Olayemi, please go ahead with your question, please. You can leave it in the chat, Olayemi. Leave your question in the chat. So for Adisman, that is asking, what is the classes at what time duration? Let me quickly share my screen to show you that so you get to see it. Okay, so for the classes, we have 2 class schedules. We have the morning and we have the evening class, right? So for the morning class, you get to learn for each live class would be for 3 hours. Right? But for the morning class, we usually advise it for people in, Europe, UK, Africa, because it is in the morning, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. Right? But for people in North America, Canada, US, we have the evening class. Now, the evening class is in West African time, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. But if you're in North America, that would be your 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So every live class is for 3 hours. You're only required to be in a live class 3 hours. Right? You get to choose the morning or the evening. You just choose the one that works for you and you get to attend the class. You're not required to be in both of them. Right? You choose the one that works for you. If you go to work in the mornings, you just want to attend the evening class, regardless of wherever you are, right? You might want to attend the evening class and all of that. So I hope I was able to answer your question. Adisman, I hope I was able to answer your question. Okay, all right. Olayemi, who do I reach out to if I have a question right now? I registered today. Oh, beautiful. So I'm going to leave a number for you on this chat, right? So just click on the number, okay? And then you can send a message via WhatsApp, right, to this number, and you'll be able to have somebody speak to you and all of that. All right. I hope you were able to get that. You can also shoot me an email. Right. So I'm going to leave my email here. Olayemi, just shoot me an email so that I just tell me what you want and we get to attend to that. Okay. So do we have any more questions? Do we have questions from anybody before we call it a day? Any other questions? So I'd like to assume that you don't have any more questions for me. So thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to us talk to you for, the last 1 hour, 30 minutes. Olayemi, I'm leaving it in the chat again. Okay, so I'm just typing it here so you get to see this. All right, so I hope you're able to copy it. It's just Priscilla, my name, @analytics.org. Right? So we've come to the end of today's session, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening in and all of that, right? I hope to see you come November or December. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers and bye for now. Remember to secure a discounted slot, right? As soon as we get any people, the slots are locked, right? So please do well to secure a discounted slot. Thank you and bye for now. Have a good day. Cheers.